Hi, and welcome to the Hidden Secrets to Health. This is Christina Cole, a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner and certified health coach. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the use of CBD with your pets. This is a question that comes up periodically, and it seems like we have a lot of pets, cats and dogs that have some anxiety. As they get older, they end up having a lot of arthritic pain and have a hard time getting around. And so CBD has been proven to be very beneficial for dogs and cats with these types of health concerns. And it tends to be better for them than utilizing pharmaceuticals. So I wanted to kind of go through some information that I learned from Dr. Gary Richter. He gave a presentation on the use of cannabis and CBD on pets. So I wanted to give really just a general overview, and then what I use for my dog, who does have a lot of anxiety. She's a rescue from Oakland, and I'm not really sure what happened in her prior life, but she has adjusted well over the last 4 years with us, but she does have moments of anxiety. And so this is actually proven to be better for her than the attempt of using a thunder shirt or some of the other tools that I have tried, including essential oils and pharmaceuticals. So this has been the best option for her. The importance of using a whole plant medicine is because it is designed to work in a dog's or cat's body the same way it's designed to work in us. When we select isolates, it doesn't give you the full spectrum that you get when you utilize a whole plant herb, which is something that I recommend for my clients in my functional medicine health coaching practice. I always go with herbal remedies, and I try to use whole plant remedies because I think it's more beneficial, and you get a full spectrum of help from these different plants. So one of the things you want to think about is the entourage effect that comes from using a whole plant. So this is synergistic. And one of the things that I think is important to know is that THC and CBD, cannabidiol, do work synergistically together, and they do create the maximum health benefit when we utilize a little bit of both of these medicines from this plant. There are some synthetic versions of THC and CBD that are coming out from the pharmaceutical industry, and they do use isolates, which means they're single molecules, so they derive just the THC or they derive just the CBD from the plant, which is the same thing that is done for pharmaceutical medications. They derive isolates from particular herbs and then synthesize them chemically, and then that's what we end up getting. And so they can be very potent, but it doesn't mean that they work as well in our body as using whole plant medicine. So if you are curious what those are called, some of them are known as marinol and drobanol, and I believe I've mentioned in a prior video FRX or something along those lines. There is no LD50 for THC with dogs. They have done tests where they've given them intravenously up to 3,000 milligrams of THC without causing death. However, that does not mean that dogs are immune to having bad effects from THC. In fact, one of the things I found really interesting in Dr. Richter's talk was he said that dogs have the highest concentration of membrane receptors for THC in their cerebellum more than any other species measured. So the THC toxicity issue for dogs is unique. And so giving them human edibles is really dangerous. And there have been deaths from having too much THC in their system and not having it treated right away. So if you happen to use edibles and you happen to have pets and they happen to get into it, you definitely want to take them to your vet and let them know what's happened so that you can get them treated right away. There is the prohibition against using cannabis in the veterinary world, at least in California, and so makes it more difficult to have these conversations with your vet. A lot of them do know about the information. It's just that in California in particular, they're not really allowed to speak about it. So keep that in mind. That doesn't mean that they're going to do anything to you if you happen to have a situation with your pet. They're most concerned with you getting your pet back to being well. I want to tell you about 4 different types of options when it comes to CBD. There's what they call high THC dosing, and that's when you have 4 parts THC to 1 part CBD. This can ration up to 20 parts THC to 1 part CBD, and the reason that you might use this particular blend is because the animal's in severe pain. There's cancer or advanced arthritis, and it's also an appetite stimulation. So, and all 4 of these different ratios, they are all anti-cancerous. So it is a good preventative to use. And particularly if your dog has cancer, your cat has cancer, this is a great time to be wanting to look for something that is the high dose THC, as has the most medicinal value for that particular issue. There is also 1-to-1 ratio. 1-to-1 ratio is 1 part THC to 1 part CBD. This is really good for neurological pain or damage, so something that's spinal cord or a brain injury. This also helps with pain. And you may not be aware of this, but dogs and cats can get irritable bowel syndrome. I believe in the veterinary world, it's called irritable bowel disease. They can get pancreatitis, colitis. And so this 1-to-1 ratio works particularly well for those particular issues. And then there's the high CBD, and that is basically the opposite of the high THC. So it would be 4 parts CBD to 1 part THC, and that can ration up to 20 parts CBD to 1 part THC. This is what's most commonly used for anxiety, seizures, cognitive dysfunction. So as your dogs are getting older and maybe getting a little senile, this is a good tool for them. Pain. And then one of the things that's really interesting is that the high CBD ratio has actually been shown to be beneficial for insulin resistance and diabetic control. So if you have an animal that needs to take medication for diabetes, high CBD may be a great option to use instead. What you're going to see on the market the most is hemp-derived CBD. This really has the same benefits for the most part as the high CBD. There's almost no THC in the hemp version, so you're not ratioing it out, right? It's not 1 part to 4 parts or 1 part to 20 parts. It is mainly just a hemp CBD. There's less than 0.3% of THC in these products. And this is what you see mostly available when you go to different stores or what you see online. And I think one of the things that's the most important to know for your pets is that dosing makes a really big difference, and you need to be able to know exactly what's in the product and how much THC and how much CBD is in the product so that you can appropriately dose that for your animals. I think something else to know is the biphasic curve. So what that means is it's a bell curve, and there's the low end and the high end, and we do have a tendency to think more is better, but that's not the case when it comes to utilizing CBD or THC. There is a sweet spot in the middle, and what you need to do is start low and slow and ration up what you're going to be giving to your pet until you find just the right amount. If you have too much, it won't work as well. And if you don't have enough, it's not giving you what you need. So you want to kind of move into and then back off. That's basically the best way to start figuring out what the right dosing is for your animal. I also want to show you the difference between industrial hemp and medicinal hemp. So I'm going to share a picture with you because I think it's really powerful. So on the left side, you can kind of see this is very tall and kind of weedy, and that is industrial hemp. This is a fantastic product. This is what's great to use for the replacement of plastics. This is great for using building materials. This is great for oil and fuel. This is also great for making ropes and making clothing. So it's not something I'd like just to go away by any means, but it is not the same as what you're seeing on the right, which is, this is what a marijuana plant looks like that has THC. This is also what a CBD plant looks like. So they look very similar. If you were to go in and smell them, it would smell the same. But if you were to take the buds and dry them out from a marijuana plant, it's going to have high amount of THC. That's going to get you that euphoric feeling, versus if you did the same thing with the CBD bud, the flower, then and you smoke that, you're not gonna have that same euphoric feeling because it doesn't have that much THC in it to get you high. So that's important to know, and I think that's a lot of times what's misconstrued with the difference between THC and CBD. It's important to know exactly how many milligrams are in a dosing, and that the dosing is going to be the same across each product. So if you get dog treats, you want to make sure that you know that in every single treat is the same amount of dosing. And that's going to come from clear labels. The things you want to look for is whether or not you have incomplete labeling on a product, inaccurate labeling on a product. So sometimes what they say is in there isn't really what's in there. So a lot of industrial hemp is sold and utilized and sold as CBD, which is not the same thing. You want to know the source material. So is this being grown safely? Is it being tested for mold? Is it being tested for pesticides? Because if we're ingesting mold and pesticides, obviously that's not improving our health. That's causing more damage. We want to know, how is it produced? And we also want to have a certificate of analysis. So if a company isn't willing to tell you exactly what the dosing is in their product, or if they don't want to show you the lab results of the product, then that's not one I would want to use for myself or for my pets. There is a brand called Lovingly and Legally. It's only available through dispensaries or through vets. And this was designed by a vet. And so I think that's something important, and they are very clear on their labeling and exactly telling you for dosing on the size of your animal. There are various ways of having this product. You can get dried plant material, which is a little bit tricky in deciding how much is in a particular dose. Liquid preparations tend to be the best because you are very clear on what you're getting. There are edibles for animals. These are hemp-based. And then there's also edibles for humans, and sometimes people are using those for their pets, and it's a really bad idea because they do tend to have a high level of THC in them, and that can be extremely dangerous. And there have been some very sad outcomes of animals that have gotten a hold of human edibles. When you go into a dispensary, you need to keep in mind that these are bud tenders, and they are very well meaning, and they want to help you get the best product possible, but they are not medically trained, and so they do not necessarily give the best advice on what you should be using on yourself or on your pets. So I do recommend using somebody who can educate you on dosing for yourself, and particularly for whatever it is that you're using CBD for. There's a great book called the Your Ultimate Pet Health Guide, and this is one by Dr. Gary Richter, and he's done a lot of information on cannabis safety and the difference between THC and CBD and when you'd want to use those. So that's a great tool. I'm going to share with you what I use and a little bit about that company because I think it's important to know your options. So I use Kannaway is the brand, and I get these chews by Dantes. On the front of the bag, you'll see that it tells you it's 4 milligrams for every one of the little dog treats, and my dog follows me around because she really likes these. They are corn-free, soy-free, and wheat-free. And on the back, it will also tell you dosing for the different sizes of your pet. So I think that's a really great tool. For my dog, she's about 90 pounds. That would give her 3 to 4 of these treats a day. I do not give her that much. I usually give her 1 or 1 to 2, depending if she's having a more stressful moment, like when the dishwasher's running, then she'll get 2. But otherwise, I usually just give her 1. And it just helps her health, and she's getting older, and it's also great for her anxiety. So I'm just going to give you a little information about Kannaway. They do have a product line for both cats and dogs, and they do give a lot of educational information, which is something that I love. So one of the things that I've talked about in prior videos that I think is important is that the endocannabinoid system that is in our bodies, and it's in all mammals, really. So the same endocannabinoid system that exists in the human body also exists within other animals, such as dogs, cats, horses, goats, and other livestock animals. The ECS is essentially a major signaling network that runs through the nervous system, organs, tissues, glands, and immune system. The CBD interacts with the ECS receptors, influencing a wide range of functions and keeping them in balance while regulating the body's homeostasis. So that's its job as an adaptogen, is to help bring us back to a place of well-being. Non-intoxicating plant-derived cannabinoids like CBD share a molecular structure similar to your animal's own endocannabinoids, which means that these cannabinoids can cooperate with your pet's cannabinoid receptors. Because of this, a lot of pet owners are starting to discover the natural benefits of supporting the ECS of their animals, as well as themselves, with supplements containing CBD. One of the things that Kannaway does is they offer CBD-infused products designed with your furry friend in mind. They've worked specifically with veterinarians. And these include Dantes Pure Hemp Oil, Chews by Dante, and Dantes Chew Toy. And these treats and toys provide your pets with a daily use CBD supplement that works to promote overall health. The hemp oil is an innovative CBD supplement designed specifically to support the overall health and wellness of your pet. This straight from nature product blends pure CBD with MCT oil for an easy to pour, easy to measure daily CBD supplement. Before any other steps are taken, the hemp oil undergoes a proprietary purification process that filters excess plant material, waxes, and all but the smallest traces of THC, leaving behind only the untainted CBD oil. Every 4-ounce bottle of Dantes Premium Hemp Oil contains 1,000 milligrams of CBD and is well tolerated in animals large and small. So the Chews, which my dog loves, she's tried to steal the bag, but I do keep it sealed so she can't get into it. Was developed alongside leading veterinarians and CBD experts. Chews by Dante are a healthy snack designed to improve your pet's well-being. These artisanally baked pet treats are crafted using delicious ingredients like bacon, apple, and cinnamon, and are free of corn, wheat, and soy. The soft, all-natural CBD-infused pet treats can be given to your pet daily to help promote overall wellness. Chews by Dante contain 4 milligrams of CBD in each soft chew to support cardiovascular function, maintaining healthy joints, and encourage neurological health and emotional behavior. There are Dantes Chews for cats, and these are formulated treats flavored with smoked salmon and roasted seafood. They're chewy. The CBD-infused treats contain 1 milligram of CBD, can be given to your pet daily to help promote overall wellness. At Kannaway, they do strive to take all the necessary steps to ensure the integrity of the product and to protect the health of your pet. The manufacturers are members of the National Animal Supplement Council, adhering to the organization's high standards of manufacturing quality control. The NASC is a nonprofit group dedicated to protecting and enhancing the health of animals. And because all their products are triple lab tested, you can trust that the CBD hemp oil supplements are consistent in their potency and free from contaminants like mold, chemicals, and heavy metals, ensuring our products are safe for your pets to take regularly. After all, as pet owners, we want only the very best for our animals and to ensure they are happy and healthy. So that's one of the reasons why I like this company. They have a lot of great research and information and educational information out there, and really consider themselves to be CBD educators. And I do read a lot of articles from them, as well as Green Flower and a few other sources. So as a functional medicine practitioner in the health coaching field, I feel like it's really important to fully understand products before I recommend them to anyone else, and it has to be something that I would be willing to use for myself and for my pets. And so that's why I did a lot of research before talking about this particular subject, and particularly about how it's used for animals and the benefits which I find to be exemplary. If you have any questions, you can always drop me a line. And if you're watching this on the Natural Living app, please follow through to my special offer. Thanks and be well.